Hello and welcome back. Today we are going to be doing a little bit more testing. I'm trying to be a little bit better about this, like if I'm trying something out, doing a little bit of a short stream to take a look at the thing. And the thing we're going to be taking a look at is Qing, which as of 1.5.12 has some additional malices that makes it a harder start than it was even with my latest Qing video. Unfortunately, I think it was just a few days after we finished the Qing run, they updated it and they made it harder, and so definitely have had some people commenting over the past few weeks about how it's really hard now, and was having a conversation about it today, and so did want to take a look at that. So I guess if we wanted to really min-max this, we could also reroll really aggressively for certain conditions. I guess the only thing we can reroll specifically is Armed Forces guy. We would want to get a Scholar Official Jingoist, I think, but it's much less of prioritization at the start because we have an immediate good law to pass. And so maybe this isn't important. The important thing is that we get a huge malice when fighting the Opium Wars, and the Opium Wars is harder to win now. So this is kind of the main thing. Let's just take a look. So the Courtiers, this is going to be our bread and butter and how we actually try and fight. We can recruit over 50% and it's still worth it. And so what we would do is we would max conscript. We can't conscript these guys. Okay, so we would have to conscript artillery. That's not as good. Is there any version of these guys we can conscript? I think we can conscript the Hussars, yeah. We'll take a look at the Hussars stats. Fundamentally, the military aspect of this is a lot harder. Yeah, so it'd be better for us to not use Hussars. Interesting. Hello, zombie firebot. Spade says, guys, pretty active on the Discord. Love the guys, by the way. You're very welcome. Yeah, I was having a conversation with someone about this on the Discord. And so this is kind of why I wanted to take a look at this. Which is to say that this, if you're watching the VOD, this is not necessarily going to be a how to do it. We might just whiff hard or something to this effect. I'm pretty sure we want to accrue infamy, and the real problem is, so I think the real problem in terms of optimizing this is we have to have 10 years at peace now instead of 5 years at peace in order to tick down the Opium War. And so, the first question you ask yourself, well, I mean, there's a lot of questions you ask yourself, but one of the big ones is, how do I acquire the most infamy in a useful way? And then, what are the different cheese methods we can use to try and make this easier? So, number one, they don't get access through Tibet anymore, is my understanding. Or do they have access through here? I guess that's a lot harder. So you can move capital to Yunnan, which is a decent place for the cap. Jiangxi is also decent, the idea being that they're not going to get in as easily. The most ingressed area, I think, is Xi'an. But you can move the capital to win this war. Oh, it's Gansu. Ningxia, yeah, Xi'an. And so that's one thing we can do. Why can't you conscript the Courtiers? Because your conscription is limited by peasant levies. It disallows multiple production methods, and this is one of the production methods it disallows. But it doesn't disallow the late game. I don't think it disallows tanks, which is funny, but it disallows the conscription of them. I think it mainly goes after the conscription method PMs, and so in theory, you can actually play. I think that if we were to do a Qing run, we would just stay on peasant levies this whole time, because I do want to experiment a bit with the armed forces, which gets the minus military goods cost. If you have these guys powerful, this is 30%. That's a lot of percents, and that's a modifier that's going to be more powerful the more you stack of it, right? And then you can get another bit of that modifier, another 10% from this, so for a total of 40%. But wait, there's more, and that's the generic. And I didn't realize this when I was looking back through these. I think this was activated on release. Not that the company is very good, but I believe the generic weapons one. Where is it? It's not a good industry. Could have sworn generic weapons does give it shrapnel offense. No, that's not generic though. Bro, where is it? Minus military goods cost here. Actually, explosives is a tremendously good interesting industry, so like this is not the worst, but we'd get minus military goods cost for a total of minus 50%. And this is a free money modifier, so this is really strong. I'm just trying to think through right now what the best places to acquire infamy are. I suppose we could kind of do the other normal things, which is that you obviously want to get rid of poor laws at the very start. This is like 100% necessary, and we're going to actually do agrarianism first, and so I think I clicked the wrong tech. We do need to go romanticism first. If one of these nat spreads, we'll swap. I'm not going to necessarily try and min-max this as much as possible, but we'll try to remember all the places that are best that have iron, and we're just going to do a little bit less here because these places don't have as much pop. I think that's the iron and coal states. I think Hebei also has a little bit of iron and coal, but like not as good. Yeah, 9 and 4. We'll give you a couple levels. I think the 60 is the number you wanted to queue. 60 is kind of a lot. Definitely not used to. Okay, so Xiaozhou I think has iron at the very least. Let's do some there. Jiangxi is eventually going to be building tall. Anyways, Guangdong I think has... No, it's Xiaozhou that has the boat thing. I think Guangdong just has... Guangdong does have dyes though. So maybe this is going to be alright. You have to spread out like kind of a little bit with these guys. I guess we could just look by iron here. Yeah, Xiaozhou's got the iron. And we already... I guess we'll just add a bit more in the capital or coastal places and get up to 60. I think this was the number. That's not coastal, but it is really good place to build. Okay, so that's kind of that. And then, how much money do we even get from these? We could tax liquor and just say we absolutely want to blast construction. It's probably not good on the immediate basis. I think we probably want to float initially as well. And we don't want to use any singular edicts in singular places right now because we're just ramping up the construction sectors and that'll take forever anyways. So I did this the other day. If you get a Jingoist and press professional ASAP, it's easy. We should have played a little bit differently then, because we should have gotten the Jingoist before we decided we weren't re-rolling. We'll take a look though. I think we can Scholar official, so neutral popularity, bordered yellow banner. We're looking royalist. Right now we're looking at all these guys' popularity. If it's positive, we would have to exile them and then roll a Jingoist. Abolitionist, boyo. AE. Pale blue banner. Okay. Sichuan green general garb. Plain red banner. Royalist but not popular. Plain white banner. Royalist not popular. Yongfengge. Yeah. Oh. Alright. Bordered white banner. Reformer not popular. This guy not popular. Man. Do we really not have a single popular gentleman? We do not have a single popular gentleman. That's interesting. Okay, so all we have to do is recruit a general that is scholar officials and Jingoist. Why don't we actually get a general in each of these? And in theory, we would care a little bit about clout stuff as well, but we're not going to concern it too much. Okay, this guy's a Jingoist. We'll recruit him, but he's also negative popularity, so that's not going to help us. We need a guy who's positive popularity. Pacifist is neutral, so we could recruit it. Authoritarian is neutral. We'll just recruit this guy, and then we'll get another bit of a look. We need generals for all these anyways. I mean, I I think we're not going to re-roll for the Jingoist. Actually, you know what? I think we're not going to do the Jingoist thing because, to be fair, I would actually want to do a run. If we were to do a run, we would actually not want to do... We would want to stay... I think we want to stay on peasant levies here. The thing is I actually don't know. This morale loss penalty is, like, actually really substantive, but I don't know how substantive because I haven't nerded out over, like, the math for a lot of this. Do you know... You do a critical economic mistake on start? What economic mistake am I making? I'm not aware of a huge economic mistake leak. Okay, so we could save, and then we go after which one of these guys has the most infamy, right? And then... But here's the thing. Okay, we reduce autonomy here. They say yes to the dress. And then... The thing, just whoever gives the absolute most infamy from tributary, probably who it is, 26. What economic mistake could we be making? I mean, we could just conquer Punjab, to be fair. And Kashmir, that's probably not worth it. What if we went for Persia? That's probably... Maybe we shouldn't just get too stylish here, because we're mainly just trying to test out the start. I think we're going to want several fleets, to be honest. And just play games. Maybe we'll just ship this. The thing is we'll just reload if the UK goes in against us. Here. And then we're going to tell them to shove it. And then we're going to declare on Portugal, I think. For return Macau. And then we're going to need cannon artillery. So we can just conscript so much, but the problem is we're going to run a shortage. The shortage actually impacting things is a new state of affairs as well. So, but I think you just conscript everything, which means in terms of interests, decked interests, we would actually want to do something like this. That way we can import cannons. Favorite nation to play in Victoria 3 for Victoria for you? I kind of just play whatever people want me to play, to be honest. Or better question, what's been your favorite nation playthrough? Playing Prussia's a lot of fun. I've had a lot of fun with Japan as well. USA is a little bit of fun. I enjoy the Qing runs usually. The problem is they get a little tedious. So what if we just ignore this for 89 days? Alright, let's try 20, 20, 30, 40. In theory, there's probably some sort of min-maxed like version of this, but... And we would want to have one for each and one on defense. Probably would want to merge them, but we're not gonna take that seriously. So I think as soon as we tell them to shove it, then they side here. So we want these guys to back down first. I don't think we want to transfer Cambodia. Yeah, show your trade. You never use encourage exports of construction commodities. You never use encourage exports. Generally, we don't like export on the construction stuff. The construction stuff's interesting because we're not necessarily super trying to up the price. Or like increasing the price of the construction goods is less useful than like increasing the price of like the finished goods early on. This might be a leak though. That's possible. But it's like, it's not as important as like encouraging the imports of like grain or fabric. But we do, like, I do encourage the exports of them sometimes, but I don't always like show it. Why does this say 20? Oh, it's got 5 hussars. Can we upgrade you to cuirassiers, though? We got a bunch of hussars. But you're... Yeah, it's probably better to encourage exports. I do think it's pretty marginal. Like, if you could pick one good where it would be, not necessarily, it would be all the construction goods, because you're paying for so much for them. But it also might be the case. Had a great time with the Ottomans the other day, made it to number 4. Yeah, the Ottomans are pretty legit. I like stuff that has any sort of localized flavor. Yeah, I think we can... Yeah, we just want to wait until this reaches... Does this reach before our... Yeah, this will reach before the opium crisis times out. So we'll get ourselves the war. The thing is we won't ban opium until we're finished with this war, because we don't want to fight the UK right away. Imports, not exports. I mean, I generally encourage imports on grain and iron if I'm importing it, which I'm doing for some things. So this is the massive penalty that we're also going to get for 9 years. And we're not going to ban opium trade until after the war. Immediately disappearing interest. Yeah, that's fair. But you're saying I always fail to encourage imports. I mean, usually I'm not importing wood and iron if I can... Once after atmospheric engine. I actually don't want to import those things, I'd rather export them. Sure. But, like, I have gotten lazy about the trade. Another thing is, like, trade is just significantly depressed. Like, it doesn't do anything near what it used to. But, like, yeah. But I generally do encourage imports on both the fabric and the grain. Why not go for African gold first, like normal? We're trying to accrue as much infamy as possible because we're not going to be able to declare wars for 10 years after this. And so we just want to do the most efficient war. It's probably actually Persia, but I don't know if we could land Persia. Like, it used to be Brazil back in the day, but we can 100% get these guys. See, they got already. Someone said they had trouble winning this war, too. But I did mention you probably just want to Navy cheese them. Alright, so I think we ban opium trade. And we're going to try and do this without moving the capital. Oop. We made a mistake. We're going to reload. We're not supposed to ban it just yet. Because we want to deck on Portugal, like, in terms of this. So we're not going to ban anything until this war is over. I mean, I guess in the event that the war actually pops, we'll keep these guys conscripted. Because that way we'll have the conscripts up as quickly as we possibly can. Now, we're going to stay on pro-army. We can't do colonial affairs. In theory, I do think you re-roll for natural spreading romanticism so that you can pass it, like, real fast. Is it the time issue? African gold would always be good, but we want exactly one war that's going to generate us as much infamy as possible. See, like, right now, we're going to decay out the 35 infamy here. And then... I don't care about opening their market, so we're going to propose that. And then we're going to take a save. Because I'm unsure of the best way to execute this. So, we can move the capital inward. We would prefer not to. But we could move it to Alexa, right? Or not Alexa, where was the one? Gansu is where we could move the capital to. This would make it way easier. We're going to try declaring on Portugal, who has a defensive pact with the UK. So we declare on them for Macau. Oh, I guess we could acquire more infamy like this. Does that, like, work for us? I mean, I bet we land that, right? Do need to import cannons. I think in either case the primary war goal is going to be Macau. I don't think they back down once the UK joins them. We're going to see about this. And now we have to do the things. Well, maybe we should have done the things before. Which is we have to full scrape the barrel. And we will wait until The UK joins, and then we will tell them to shove it, because otherwise they'll just attack us during this mobilization phase, right? But I mean, the problem is we're just not going to have enough cannons, I think. Maybe we just cannon up not everyone, and we see just how bad this is. I'm inclined to think we can actually do this with just this, and then we'll cannon up a few guys just to defend. Why don't we get you a defense-looking thing? But we'll still cannon these babies up. But we're just gonna change the color on these guys so we know what they're here for. Oh, they have some cuirassiers. Oh, that's perfect for us. So that each of these guys, these squads, will be able to take 10 cannons. And then just defend. Yeah. Alright, 10 cannons for you. And this is gonna help versus landings, we are hoping. And everybody's gonna be on defense forever. And we'll be very sad if they back down. And we'll see, we will mobilize more as needed. Like, if they start to push us, we'll definitely change things up. Okay. Cool. No opium. Yeah, that is how you feel the pain. Are you stationing any of your stacks in Canada in case Great Britain attacks so you can occupy them super fast? We actually should have traded for Russia for Alaska. Actually, maybe trading after this is fine. Let's make sure all the guys are on defense. Okay. And then UK is going to join, and then we're going to ban opium immediately afterwards. UK joins. UK joins. UK joins. UK joins? What the hell? You have a defensive pact. Please? Okay, cool. I think North and South Angola will be best to take. Ooh, actually, we would really like here, because then we can go into Transvaal. Oh, do we not have an interest there? We don't have a stinking interest in the right region. Alright. And now, the UK cannot start a war against us. So they and they're already involved in a play against us. But I do think they get a war 5 years down the road, right? Yeah. Is Qing industrialization or university spans the way to go? Yeah, but you definitely want to conquer stuff too. Definitely want to import that. Okay, so we're not using all the army even. We're gonna try and do this without using all the army. Actually, maybe let's mobilize you, cannon you up a little bit. Because I am, of course, most concerned about the prospect of naval landings. Because we've decided to not move the capital inland, which is better for just winning this war, but on the short term, or on the long term, it's not very good for us. I don't think there's another useful law we could pass at this point. I don't think we would want landed voting this early. We don't have the interest in Zanj anymore. Don't want to take Kenya, but it's maybe an idea. Wait until we get our interests. Okay, we have the interests. So that'll allow us to go Transvaal later. And then we take North and South Angola. Are these even worth it? Eh. I mean, it'll give us a native interest in the region if we don't already have one. I think we already have one because of the Land Fang. We should have reduced autonomy on. I think it's just another place for us to land. We're just gonna keep it simple and go with this. And then these squads are going to be important for landing. This 20 stack and this... Oh, these guys are perfect. They're already exactly 10 and 10, and this guy's also perfect. So why don't we do ourselves a favor and make them clearly the type of squad we use for this thing. Yeah, okay, so this war looks super... This looks like the exact type of war you would want to have for this, and they are not that conscripted up. And we have, you know, these guys... Oop, we definitely want everyone to be raising the conscripts. But we have another several hundred conscripts available, like infinite money available. We definitely should be using edicts. The thing is, it's just... We're not going to sweat this super hard, but just to be clear, us floating this is not optimal. And then if we improve relations, at least for a temporary period, I guess maybe we'll use the decrees in the few places we know we're going to build, like, kind of immediately. We'll do something like this. Alright, so we definitely want to enforce the UK out second. Or they are the second most important for us to enforce out. So we're going to land... Attempt to land here. Part of this is... why I think this is possible is partly because the AI is really bad at defending this type of stuff. But we'll see if they've gotten better. Also, we need more generals here. Again, we're not min-maxed for future setups. We're just focusing on getting past other stuff while doing something that's like reasonable looking. Like in theory, we would try and recruit generals towards particular political situations. Moving forward. Alright. And we want to piece out the UK second, That way we extend the truce length with them as much as possible. Now, the progress here is 5%, and I believe it just stays because we need to be at peace. Oh, but this is only for 5 years for us to win the opium crisis. We will just have this for 10 years. Is that what's going on? Okay. Are they attempting to push, and how are they doing? They're doing poorly, currently, into what we have going on. We also do not have the full conscript. Why don't we actually get some of these guys ready, but we're not going to put him on the front. I just want to see. We're going to conscript up with this guy. Just the thing is I don't think it's necessary. So let's give him a different color. But if it is necessary, we do want to have the guys conscripted up. In case. This guy probably should be using this guy. We're just going to mobilize. And make him look like a cavalry guy, because he's effectively a cavalry guy. And then I'm going to move him onto the front. Opium smugglers, the truth hurts. Did you forget to turn your constructions into iron frame? We're not going to do that yet. We're going to clear this through and then turn it on. Actually, we could do it in like one place, but we have to do it really piecemeal and import. So here's where we want to use the import prioritization, because we do not want to build this ourselves. Yeah. It looks like we get in here because the AI doesn't know how to play this. Why don't you hide, please? They may not know. They may not know how to play it, but let's not. Okay, so we've gotten everything but occupy Guangdong, right? And how is their progress? Non-existent, basically. So, let's also take a chunk out of the UK. We have to land one thing of the UK's. I have the perfect plan as to what we can land of the UK's. Here. Which will allow us to enforce, of course, recognition and war reparations. Which is, looks like they're not trying to land us here. We're trying to keep an eye out for the landing thing, and looks like they're just not making progress here. Are they even trying to push? I mean, we saw a battle earlier. We just have way more guys. Certainly ain't lacking in minting. No, we are not. Definitely have a lot of minting. Use Alaska trade start. Essentially, always get the Trucial states, Hudson Bay, Oregon as vassals. What I got Great Britain recognized. I mean, yeah, maybe that would have been better. We at least took some stuff off Portugal. Like, we accrued a decent chunk of infamy, but yeah, we're just gonna be waiting for like the entire time. So, and again, we're not like super high min max on some of these things. We see that we don't have an iron shortage, right? We do have an iron shortage, so we're not going to swap another one onto iron frame. Yeah, the PM is really bad. Again, I think that we have this period where we're not passing a law. I really do think you want to re-roll until you're not spreading romanticism, if you're like doing kind of like you're trying to push things into hyper-optimized, because that represents such a big difference that you're getting in your investment pool transfer. So I do think it is worth doing. But we're not even getting the battles, and we are currently fighting the UK, right? So, now where did this guy go? Okay, so this guy's traveling to the front. We are just going to put them on defend front. And we're just going to station in here. definitely want to hide these guys as much as possible. But we're taking down both of them. We just can't enforce on Portugal. So we'll keep an eye on when it looks like the UK is kind of close to being accepting a peace that involves this. Which is them starting to, which means they're enforced below 0, and then we land Guangdong. And remember, we have this unit just in reserve, not fighting here. And this looks super manageable so far. I mean, we're losing money, but we could taxes. Generalist should be glad he's not playing with the tweak nod, because I just noticed something terrible. What's that? I think this game needs Qing Corn Laws speedrun. Qing Corn Laws is really easy. You just move your market capital to Formosa, and then you delete the port. And then you can push up the price of grain really easily. Rubber and Sunda Islands. We maybe should have taken it. Hello, General. Hello, Technocrat. I needed to respond to your DM that you had sent me. Or like, yeah. I need to respond to it. I need to think of, so like the things you wanted to talk about on like the podcast are things I currently have notes for a video on, and I think what I would want to do, oh no, they're pushing us a little bit. I think what I would want to do is I would want to get the videos out first, and then, oh, to be fair, they just want to conquer Guangdong, huh? Yeah, so we actually need to enforce on them. Okay, so we're gonna do that. Low key. Alright. Actually, what are we doing? I don't think that maybe will stop us. Yeah, just realized they could take all of Guangdong, so we actually do need to maybe shape up a little bit on this. Let's see. Yeah, they are starting to push us, but not in, well, I guess everywhere. Okay, okay, okay. I see you. So now we're gonna assign. To be fair, we also don't have supplements on. Let's do the things. Alright. For all of these, we'll put on sugar and opium. See, like, one thing about this entire war is that it's really tedious as well. But I think we're in good shape here. Oh no, we have an opium shortage. You know who we would be able to get it from? Okay, but I think we can land this. They are starting to push us at a pretty strong clip, though, after having a little bit of a non-start. But we should be able to get in here with this landing. Oh, that's cute. We land just that. Nope. So we're not going to get there in time. Just a little bit of micro is all. Yeah, but they have us crushed on the front now. Okay, I see you. Now, they don't have any troops here, so they're just going to get crushed over here. Two generals should be enough. Where are your troops, bro? Oh, they caught us. No, not us. Why'd you catch us? No, just kidding, they didn't catch shit. Okay. Now we reland this. This does feel a lot closer than I thought it would be, but they're really not gonna like getting, you know, pushed in here. And the UK is not gonna like getting landed up here, but we do have to keep an eye on things. Like, okay, this is probably a more micro-intensive war than like most other wars. Really doesn't feel that hard though. They're full occupied, so the person with war goals we're gonna enforce on first. So alright. Where are your boats? You don't have the boats up here. I'm not sure if we can even get in on the UK like this. That seems a little ambitious. Oh, did we get a owie? Okay, what's the war goal for them? Guangdong. So we'll tick down slower if we hold Guangdong, so this is what we'll try and do. You need a promotion. Yeah, hopefully their navy doesn't come through and clap us again. They are pushing us pretty aggressively, but again, like, we have a way faster enforcement on them than they do us. But we might not get recognition in this war. That's kind of a little bit of a boohoo whatever thing, though. Okay, so we brick their war goal, or we brick the war goal here. These guys are on rapid advance. I think we put them in here. We need to unassign this guy from the front. Wait, why can't we land? Okay, we need to unassign that guy from the front, but what we can do is, I think we could use this guy instead. And we'll set him... Oh, he's already on the exact thing we wanted. Come on, buddy, you can do it. Put your back into it. Oh, these guys should also all have force march. Let's put you on force march as well. That way they can beat people to the front and get like a single push. If you get like a single push in before they get there, like that's how you win. Alright. Looks like they're gonna push us out here. Yeah, and they clap us here. Fair enough. Very fair. Very, very, very fair. Okay. We'll try and just keep double and triple landing here and eliminate the coastline. We did take Kenya, right? Yeah. So we are enforcing down on them. Yeah, you should probably get more guys on the front. Yeah, I just wanted to see... I mean, we didn't fully max out everyone, but it also seems like they're just rolling through our guys kind of no matter what we do, and it's a matter of... I think it's probably more a matter of us doing this than us, like, getting everyone on a front. You know what I mean? Where, like... Where it's just about, it's a relanding game, more so than, like a kind of normal looking thing. I mean, our convoys are getting shredded, but they're nowhere near our cap is like one of the big things. And then they don't control all of Guangdong, right? So they're not, we're about to enforce on them. Which is unfortunate because we want to enforce on the UK second, but we'll have war goals on the UK, and the UK is like kind of close. But now the UK has no front, and we're enforcing on them, right? And so all we have to do is just wait. Just Station everyone in North China, man. Every single one of these mobilized boyos, North China. But like, I think it's like declare on Portugal, land behind type thing. This doesn't seem too bad. They're in North China. We just gotta station everyone North China. Obviously, if you were playing against a human opponent, you would not station everyone North China. You would you would mix it up, but so this is like without even using all the troops we're gonna enforce on them here, I think. Or well, let's see what their decay looks like. They're decaying faster than us. It's on them. So, yeah. Yes, well, thank you. Yeah, I gotta catch up with these comments. That was like, yeah. I feel like they would be able to push through you if they were able to borrow troops on the attack, but they can't push through with all these tiny stacks. Yeah, I mean, eventually they did start pushing through, though. But you've seen that by now. You should put more guys on the... We already did that. Have any recommended nations for beginners? Persia. Persia's got a little bit of everything. They don't have anything too crazy going on. They're a bit of fun. Or like USA. I mean, like, people, whenever they ask that question, so the real answer is France, but like nobody wants to play France. Or Russia, actually, is probably the most beginner-friendly. I would say. Or like, yeah, probably Russia. Something like that. Someone, yeah, France is good. Using opium to ban opium sure is a novel tactic. We use the opium to destroy the opium. Once it is done, it will always be done. But yeah, France, the only reason that I would not want to recommend France is because of the really high radicalism. So like, your chance of revving is like a lot higher. I was trying to think of someone who wouldn't rev that's fairly straightforward with the resources. Like Persia's not gonna have to be too crazy. You kind of have all the resources you need. I mean, you don't have rubber, but yeah. But every time you mess up, you just kind of learn something, so it's not even that big a deal, to be honest. And we also have just this absolute fat, like, infamy thing to decay down to here. I mean, we're losing a ton of money, but so let's start increasing taxes, yeah. And let's put in tax on opium. I mean, it's not like... It looks like... I mean, they're trying to land our cap, I assume, here. Let's get everyone back. In terms of the Navy, because we will... If they land cap, we will have to re-land behind really aggressively. But we can split into, like, a ton of different fleets, too. And try and bait their navies. Yeah. US is nice, but abolish slavery. Yeah, the only reason I don't want to recommend the US is because it's so much clicking for Reconstruction. Otherwise, I would recommend US. Hey Matt, how's it going? My day's going pretty good. Just wanted to test this out. Was talking with someone on the Discord earlier about the really negative modifier and Opium War being really, really hard now. But I think that, I mean, I think that us just using the Portugal strategy is sufficient. Like, we didn't even use all of our troops. I mean, they're gonna take a look, they're gonna try and land us now, but here's something we could do. We could literally split this down into 15 light ships, right? We have 15 boats. We could split this down into 15 light ships, 4 generals each, or 1 general at a time, and just occupy them in a naval battle for forever. So, like, just, you know, taking a look here, we could just do this, you know? And then we recruit a general, right? Or an admiral. As soon as we see the army come in, because the army's not here yet, it's just the navy for the landing, we just send in 1 stack. And then the 1 stack gets beaten, we recruit another general, we send it back. We can do that a total of 60 times because we have, or 4 admirals per 15. Like, if you just want to do cheese, like, right? So, but we could do this. And look at this. We get this nice thing going on. Now, of course, the UK will just join everything against us. But now, the opium crisis is going to tick. And we just wait 5 years, right? Okay, so now we're just going to eco up, my friends. We could even reduce taxes a little bit here. Okay, we got some stuff going on. What's this? I don't think I'm used to that icon. Okay, we also we mismanaged some stuff. Alright, so let's get so we can trade with those guys. Something like this? I don't know. We probably can even try and transfer North Peru and then force them to release the other ones so we get North Peru for cheaper, which I discovered while we were doing the stream for the other country. Yeah. US seemed good since it's isolated, but the politics is confusing. Yeah. I think the US is really good though, because no one's gonna like dunk on you, but the politics is a little bit of something. We're about to have romanticism here. The most important. Okay, so I guess once all the interests come in. Yeah, baby. Let's go. We get to turn it on. Instant shortages. Alright. Now we, like, obviously didn't play super tight at the beginning, so I apologize for anyone who's watching this VOD for, like, how do I start China as a whole. This is mainly just practice for just the Opium Wars, and this is the only thing that we're trying to, like, suss out what's correct. Market squares. Do want gas streetlights at some point. Probably gonna go Atmo engine for that. Just kind of checking everything out. Do want fishing trawlers. Privately owned. We're running a shortage. The hard times. The hard times is hard. Alright. Agrarianism. And then, what are we using this on? I guess we don't hate the road maintenance really that much, but we kind of don't need these taxes yet, really. So we'll do this, because we just want to pass the law as quickly as possible. Road maintenance is probably fine. And the iron should kind of start pouring in once our trade routes come on up. But what we can do is, yeah, we can do some of this. We know we're going to build a decent amount in Beijing, Outer Manchuria, Zhou, something like this. And that'll allow the routes to come up, the trade routes, because annex South Peru. Transfer subjects? Bro. Oh, we didn't want to click that. We have to be at peace. We'll see if the UK joins against us. My brain is on opportunistic mode, not resolving the opium crisis. I think that 15%, well, maybe we're... Well, we're not at war. Yeah, okay, this is fine. This is fine. Because we're just going to leave them as soon as the play starts. We're just going to say, smell you later, dog. That's going to be a no from me. Whoops. Sorry. Our bad. Where's Lanfang? We do not want an actual fight, though. Okay. What is this icon, like, even denote? Is this bugged out? Bro. I can't hover any of these. That's bugged too. We're gonna save and load, because that's kind of triggering me. Is Hokkaido worth taking? Probably not. Or, I mean, it's nice. It's a good state. I don't... Not for us right now, though. Looking forward to the next DLC where you gotta relearn the game yet again. To be honest, relearning the game is what's fun for me. Once I feel like I've figured out the game, it becomes like less fun. We're gonna go up to 10k progress and then we're gonna slingshot up. Is it possible to unite India as Sikh Empire in this patch? Any strategy? I think it's possible. It's hard. The strategy is going to involve just kind of doing everything effectively. You want to get to the coast and then you start cooking. You know, you go for South Africa, like in terms of expansion, but like, I don't know, you're going to have trouble with discrimination once you like hit the coast. You have to do the cheeky thing, which we don't do in the Transvaal run. We could have done it in the Transvaal run. I was kind of amused at how bad we were recruiting up, but you have to, the more coastline you occupy, you can put a naval base in each of these, and so each of these will give you an additional navy, which isn't good for fighting because it's going to be a navy that's got 20 soldiers in it, but it's useful for landing. Yeah, Hokkaido is amazing from a resource perspective, but it's got no pops. It's the best mappy state in the game, though. The only thing it could have is oil. Honestly, do you even need war reps as Qing? No, but it's kind of free. You set all your farms to just wheat production so they won't build up. But our military eats the grain. Now, to be fair, or they eat the sugar. To be fair, just to be clear, I would also delete like 200 of the military here, but this has caused a bug that like caused a crash in the past, so we're not going to do that. But I'd delete down to 200 battalions during this phase of the game. Like if we're playing a super tight like Qing run, but we're not like trying to set something up too crazy. Alright. So now we have a ton of convoys, so that should help the iron to come in. We don't really want to produce too much of the iron ourselves. TBH. But I do think we want to get the coal started just so the well, we actually are going to play the lazy way. We're going to put everything on auto expand that we know we want in. It's just not going to be very effective initially. We are going to put a glass thing in. And we also want to turn on the streetlights because we're going to need them for infrastructure. And so we're just going to get it started in some of these places. Ooh, this place has rice too. It's so nice, the rice. Eat shit, Great Britain. Let's tax the opium too. We do want to be floating max, I think. Let's do this. But yeah, almost done with agrarianism, so that's nice. Everything's coming in pretty good here. Agrarianism's extra good because of the laissez-faire bug, to be honest. I think the Portugal strat is more difficult than just blocking naval invasions against the UK only, but the clay in Africa is a nice bonus. I think it's so much easier, to be honest. Because the AI will not land us while they have a front they can push in through like that. And so it denies that front, or it denies the landing. We would not be able to defend against the landing is the problem, I think, with our super, super low, like, nuked defense. France is low-key hard to play. I'd keep revving no matter what. Yeah, so this is why I would not recommend, or why I kind of didn't want to recommend France. You forget how, like, you know how to, like, handle everything, right? And so it's like a bit rough. Prussia is nice, but you have to Prussia's nice with the asterisk that you do not actually go after these people militarily, you just go after them diplomatically. And so, like, I actually... But then you, like, generally have to fight Austria, and that might be hard. Sweden might be actually a pretty good start. TBH. What are we doing with our lives when we should be constructing more? We're going a little bit harder in Outer Manchuria just because they will have ports. You know, the disgusting thing is now we just need to release South Peru and Iquicha, and then they unite with North Peru. So we're actually just going to get all that for 0 infamy. Absolutely disgusting. Look at us, the #2 great power. Bro, this does not seem... So you keep the penalty for 10 years, right? And I don't think this goes away. But if our journal closes out, it doesn't matter that it doesn't go away, right? Like, we just don't have to fight... We just choose not to fight the UK during that time period. And this is, like, without even, like, full strap, like, rushing some military tech or whatever. Speaking of, let's try and be a little bit efficient. So we're up above 200 construction, and we're going to build 1 of these in each of the places that we know we want to build. And then start pushing them in Beijing. Actually, we'll just EOS them. Oh no, we're not going to EOS them because a very big concern is infra. We're going to spread things out so we don't shoot ourselves in the foot. Xi'an's also going to be good longer term. Oop, definitely forgot to do this. Conjin, fantastic. Now Lathe is not spreading. Let's check the infamy. Yeah, this is super nice. We're getting, like... We have so much, like, decay that we want to do. Something like that maybe is going to be good for us. Russia, Sweden, yeah, and Persia. Sweden is just obnoxious because you run out of pops. So I think it might be Russia and Persia. Russia also feels satisfying because you do start out with backward laws and you get to develop them a lot. And you don't like start with like good laws to begin with. So I think it's more satisfying to play. Getting out from underneath the religious folk is a little bit tough though. Like, there's nobody that doesn't have, like, unique challenges and just feels like full generic. What do we have that we want to pass? I mean, we could go landed voting. I think that's kind of not going to be very good right now, though. Let's do this, maybe. Still at low taxes. We definitely can up taxes. Alright, we're going to try and play at least somewhat reasonably. We're not going to tax the liquor. And then we got to add a bunch of construction sectors. I think that we're going to add them where I think we have minerals. And we're going to add several of these on the coast. Sichuan has a bunch of wood, so we'll set it up on auto expand. We'll also set up auto expands here, where this is eventually going to be a pretty important industrial center, just because it has the most pops. And if we encourage manufacturing anywhere, I think it's going to be there. So let's... Alright, let's start pushing more of these too. Higher learning. Let's make sure we haven't... Alright, we're still only at 5k. We do want a slingshot, so we want to research up to 10k. Then swap to lathe. Starting to run down on the bureaucracy, which is fine. That gives us something to build that's reasonable. We have insufficient tax basically everywhere, so we're just going to push the EOS in places that are close. So we're going to do some of that. Passing no laws actually helps. For what? I maybe don't have the context of that conversation. One just needs to realize with Russia and Persia that it might feel like you're making little progress, but as soon as you get key tech and off traditionalism, you really pop off. Yeah, so this is maybe a consideration. But like, I don't know who's straightforward, starts with good laws, has decent mappy. Like, Belgium would be a good, except for sometimes France just wants to clap you. So if you're okay with sometimes France just deciding they want to take your stuff, then Belgium would be the recommendation. The reason I wouldn't recommend Belgium is because they always get, like, or they often will get run over by France. So, does the opium ban work in your game? We're seeing. We're banning it. We've banned it. We're seeing if we can get through the crisis. We've heard that this is very difficult. And I've been requested to like show how to deal with it several times now, and so I think it's manageable, but turning on the iron frames slowly so we're giving our trade routes an opportunity to increase. We're doing that so we can solve the infra issue. They want local police. To be fair, local police would not even be that bad for us. Actually, it kind of would. They're gonna be pissed. Kind of an annoying request. They're not gonna like rev off of it though. So I guess it's not too big a deal. Yeah, China's just like really slow to change anything, so. Let's blame him. Hard to do worse on an ideology front. Yep, I still don't think that's worse, so. Let's get rid of one of these. Don't want to be floating that negative. Kind of developing here. Well, I forgot we did subjugate Dynam, so we do want to keep an eye if we could do this for 0 autonomy, or for 0, yeah. Infamy. Oh no, Great Britain rivaled us. What will we do? Guizhou has a lot of chops and usually cheap wages. This is true. Oops. We forgot we wanted to switch almost all the chops to softwood. But this is like, I don't know, this is kind of like... So in Guizhou and Beijing and southern Anhui and western Hubei, we'll maybe keep it. The places where we have the other things, we'll focus hardwood, focus up. Wow, this is like what our hardwood price looks like? No way, dude. Alright. Eastern Hubei, or was it Western Hubei? Do this. Do some of that. No shortages still. Do have isolated this. Let's do that. Still waiting this out, but I think then if this just kills the negative, then I don't see how this was supposed to be super, or I don't know. What's the infamy level where GPs will change their view of you? They'll change it at 25. They'll start changing attitudes. I think it's 25, 50, and 100 are the 3 breakpoints. There's 3. It's 25, and then either 50 or 75. I forget which one it is, and then 100. But generally, I like to stay under 25. So, but not in this case because we know we don't want to fight a war for 5 years, and so we just have to chill out. Next Paradox game, time for Rome. I don't know. I think they're licking their wounds over Imperator. I think that they would have a hard time from a press perspective of trying to do Rome. Is National Guard with PL for additional recruitment speed? I don't really think so. The problem is I think guaranteed liberties is really good, and so like the opportunity cost of any time you're going this is like you have to give up guaranteed liberties. Yeah. The British rivalry, you just call them quadrupeds. Well, where do they think they get the T from? Do we want to force this guy to step down? Hell yeah, brother. Let's see the replacement. Let's see Paul Allen's Confucian scholars. Not ideal. This guy being cautious is so nice too. We are gonna probably stay on monarchy as long as he's alive. Look at that. But I mean, this does look like crisis averted, mission accomplished. Obviously, we weren't super optimal with like all the construction stuff. Although I do think you want to build in Yunnan, Shaanxi, Beijing, Southern Manchuria as your like primary 4 build spots initially. We are starting to get a whole bunch of coal though, and I don't think we have any really buy orders for coal. So we're gonna go gas streetlights. We have some buy orders for coal because of heating, but not too much. So it does kill the negative modifier. Well, someone was saying like it didn't. Or I was talking to someone, they said it was for 10 years. I mean, obviously this is for 10 years. But you just... I mean, I think we're just set after this. Right? And then it's just normal Qing stuff. Normal Qing stuff. Like, we're just... I mean, the spot we're in is just super good, because we're going to get... Our next war, as soon as this runs out... Okay, so do we keep the modifier? We have opium ban. We have economic concessions. Oops, we fucked up. We researched it all the way. Rip. Do as I say, not as I do. We were supposed to stop at 10k and swap over, but I suppose this is kind of fine. Except it actually makes it take longer for us to get Atmo engine, but it's fine. It's fine. What's the, like, Demi Lovato thing? You want to say you're not fine? Or you say you're fine, but you're not really fine? That's what this is. I, like, literally just made a tutorial on this very thing. Jesus. How to be a bad Vicky 3 YouTuber. Okay. So, I mean, like, this is it, right? The end of addiction? Right? So this might be the stream, boys. Actually, I want to test this thing with Peru Bolivia anyways, so... The thing is we might, I anticipate UK will join, and we actually kind of don't want to fight them. So we might just swap sides and capitulate to test the last little bit here. But I want to test and see if this does just break apart Bolivia and then we get it all for free. We get the bag. We like getting the bag. Bags in chat, please. But yeah, this seems... What's the strat for not fully researching Atmo? We can explain it very quickly here. So, when you have a bunch of unresearched tech from the previous levels, so as you can see here, we have level 2 techs we can research. We have a bunch of level 1 techs that are unresearched. What happens to the cost here is it goes way up. We see the 20k cost. The penalty for unresearched techs in earlier eras is 10k, and the base cost is 10k. So what you do is, and we've done like math for this, but what you do is you research this up to 10k, and then you swap back, and then you finish all the previous techs. And so what we could do if we wanted to get both shell gun and percussion cap at the same time, or very quickly, we could do this. With the production tech specifically, it's very important because your natural spread will always be on cotton gin and lathe, but if you research cotton gin and lathe yourself, your natural spread will be on any one of these techs. And so if it's on any one of these techs, you might not get it dedicated towards where you want it to go, but if you spend 10k on, or 9,900 on atmospheric engine, and then swap back to lathe, the entire time you're in researching directly on atmospheric engine, you are controlling your natural spread into lathe. Whereas if you research lathe, you would not be able to control it being an atmospheric engine. And so like, this is the strategy. We get some bags in chat, hell yeah, brothers. Oh, there are subject too that are contributing. Blast up. I mean, we could have had make them as protectorate as our like primary here, but I don't think that's even. No, we're just gonna. This should be fine. I think we win this as well. But yeah, so this looks pretty manageable. They back down, and look at that. Oh, it does work like that. So. This is such a clean start. Imagine if we actually like tried hard on like all the eco stuff. But this is so clean. We got Peru for free. Like entirely for free. Like all of this, it was free. And we can annex it immediately. Oh boy, 5.5 seems cheap. Do they not have everything incorporated? Bro, they don't have everything incorporated, so it's even cheaper. Bro. That's disgusting. And also we don't have to wait. Bro, this is so disgusting. And then we took LM from Portugal, so this means we could go into Transvaal right away. Bro, this run is so sick. And we're gonna colonize super nice later on, right? We have a native interest in the Congo, which is nice. Dude, this feels so strong. And then we don't have the negative modifier at all. The bag's been acquired. Yeah. I don't know. Do you guys want to play for another half hour or so? Let's just pull. I'm pretty sure we're just supposed to chill down, but we don't want to give them time to incorporate. So it's probably actually just annex, huh? Alright, let's play another little bit. They might just capitulate. Bro, this is disgusting. Isn't it romantic? It is. Oh, you know, actually this run's scuffed because we messed up the Atmo engine. Just kidding. We thought it was the God run, it wasn't. Let's do that. Will that cause a shortage? How bad's the shortage? No one's joining against us. This is spectacular. We're going to do mine minus all mine. Normally we do want to do spread the word because we actually do want to populate that, but our borders are still closed, so we can't we cannot spread any words. No words can be spread. When did we research that? Did that just not spread to us? Oh, we don't even want to pass this. This isn't the colonial affairs we want anyways. Let's do that one. Bag has been acquired. He's wounded. Just like the UK's pride. Pretty sure this works. I like honestly have not experimented as much with multi-landings as I should have, but also definitely do not want to keep the military this large, but since we're on a little bit of a timeline, we're going to play a little bit loose and just try and, you know, do some stuff and see what we can do kind of in a little bit of a 30-minute period. But I think that this start seems very, very fine for us. I think we've acquired the bag. This place can finally recruit up. We'll do some of this action to lead it out. Oh, hey Daniel Hart. Thank you with the dono. Much appreciated. That emoji is fucking lit. I wonder if you see some weird stuff in your run now. Yeah, the every time we're like trying like uber try hard, we always get super unlucky, and then every time we're just like, okay, I just want to test something out real quick, it just like is the god run. And like this is team never lucky. But thank you so very much, Daniel. Han keeps opium obsession, but otherwise no downside. Seems decent. You have a Qing question start. I've generally been asking USA for recognition. Day 1, 20% chance, and re-rolling and skipping the whole opium wars and fighting the British situation. And 5-year peace. Han keeps opium obsession, but otherwise there's no downside. Seems decent. I think opium obsession's actually technically good. But you generally ask USA for recognition, and re-rolling and skipping the whole opium wars and fighting the British situation and 5-year peace. Of your recognized, do they not get the opium wars thing? I haven't done this method of handling it. It might be okay. I'm incredibly satisfied with the way this turns out, though. Like I think the Portugal thing is very replicable, based on the fact that we didn't even use all of our armies. But you have to like play it tight. So like, there were like several spots where we were re-landing to like cheese them and landing, and then we landed Portugal, and we tried to land the UK. That didn't work. Do you have any tips for playing the Ottomans? I have no Mappy Iron Coal. Yeah, you do what everyone else in that boat does. You go to South Africa. I mean, yeah, you just eat the Mappy penalty. Ottomans are a lot worse. But yeah. Do you have a Patreon like that? I do have a Patreon. I just like the large cut that YouTube takes. I do have a Patreon with a $1 dono option. I should probably just put in a PayPal thing too, though. I don't know. People occasionally ask if there's like a better way to dono, but like, yeah, YouTube takes 30%, but like, I don't like hate YouTube taking 30%. Like, if YouTube did not provide a platform for me to do this on, I wouldn't be able to do it. Like, it's not like I would have the means to start my own server to like upload videos, and then the distribution system entirely is like also theirs. So like, I don't hate YouTube taking a cut, but I do have a Patreon, yeah. I've been trying to think what else I can do on the Patreon. Right now, we do polls for what country we're gonna play. So there will be oh no, can we not win this? Alright, stream's over, folks. I thought we'd win these. I thought we'd take those. Bro. I've tried this so many times before, and it like, it works. It's worked before. 1 attack. So do we have the penalty? I feel like we should have more attack than that. Okay, what if we fuse these guys? So maybe the multi-landing strategy is not going to work out. But these guys are half irregulars, half cuirassiers, so I think that these would be the guys we'd want to use. Plain yellow banner. Can we do it the other way? And we want these guys to merge onto the Guangdong fleet. Oh, hubris. We were like, it's all going so well. Now we have to micro this. Because the annexation wars are just like super finicky. Like if you mess them up, like you just like there's little wiggle room because you don't have a bunch of extra time with them, so we'll just do something like this. Which, this is how you get a bunch of votes as quickly as possible. You have to recruit in a bunch of different spots. And then, do we have anything that's big that has a bunch of cuirassiers? I guess this? So this will get really big really quick as everything kind of unites up. Let's go here. Just plain blue banner, I think is the one we used. Alright, let's go for it. See, now it's a 25 stack. Oh, we have some other territories we could build naval bases into. Courtesy of Portugal. I'm relatively new to the game. How do you usually deal with revolutions? Trying not to pop them is generally it. But if you build a ton of units in the capital and you don't have any units anywhere else, the capital will never be a part of the rev, which makes it really easy to just win the revolution. Also, if you are inside someone's customs union, if you're like on the smaller side, if you're on the smaller side, you can, your overlord will help you. And so very often you will either have a decent sized military and you can influence it being mostly in the capital and then also do this. Also you have to like pay attention to like how big it is. So if we hover this, like we see that this is most of China. So we do not want to let this pop. In theory, sometimes you actually want to rev and switch sides to reset your infamy. We don't really do this like ever, but this is something you can do. I don't do it because I think it's a little bit cheesy, but this, like, if you're doing like a full min-max run, then yeah, then you would do that. Do you have a Patreon or anything? Oh, okay, we already did that. You can get a treaty port if you're recognized, so no, you can't get a treaty port if you're recognized? Yeah, but if they open your market, this also is a win for them. They can open your market instead of getting a treaty port, and this is considered a success. I wonder if we even win this. I mean, the problem is we have a ton of irregulars, right? This is a rather significant problem. You have to win like 4 to 5 battles before actually getting a landing to stick. Yeah. So maybe we just lose this. And with that, we conclude what was the God run. Now it's suddenly scuffed. We didn't get Peru for free. No, I don't think we can land this in the allotted time. It would help if these guys were on actual real, the thing that increases their offense. I mean, in theory, it's probably possible to annex Peru. We're just the problem is they can take us below 0. We're not so far off here with 16 on 22. Oh, bro. Was that just in time? Alright, where's the capital? Is it Ica? I think it... No. It's not Ica. We need to switch to landing the capital. We'll do it with this guy instead. Maybe all's not lost. This seems super scuffed. I'm pretty sure we don't get this now, but with them at 52, there's like no way, but yeah, we're just ticking down too fast, right? Actually, we will tick down slower if we mobilize everyone. We will tick down slower if we mobilize everyone. Yeah, I do think this doesn't work. Well, up until the point where we fucked this up, and by we I mean me, this did work. Always hard to land them though, because one of the problems is actually combat with is really rough here because they don't have that much infrastructure. Yeah. The truth, it hurts. These guys are all lying. Why you always lying, infantry? Sure, bro. One thing I hate is how long it takes in between these battles. So like, if you're specifically annexing someone, you really don't get to get a lot of feedback before you have to make a massive adjustment. But we just lose this now, so I think that we're just gonna, you know, kind of answer the last few questions we have in stream and call it, because we mainly just wanted to experiment, you know, with how doable this was, and I don't want the shame of losing this war. To be fair, I have scuffed more wars annexing Peru and Peru-Bolivia than any other region, like, or any other, like, type of thing, because landing them is, like, always way harder than I think it's going to be, and it's because of the infrastructure. Grim, grim, grim. But this was also completely free. What's our infamy? Yeah. Just, like, this start feels so strong. So. Naval invasions are always getting me like that. It does feel bad. An idea on how to do multiplayer runs with viewers, but that's pretty time consuming. Any idea? An idea could be do multiplayer runs with viewers, but that's a bit time consuming. It's time consuming, and also one of the things that I didn't like for the 3v3v3 was like organizing and feeling like I had to be on top of people, and then like police people's behavior as well in regards to like how they were treating each other, and like I just didn't want to micromanage other people, and this is like part of one of the things with like multiplayer. You have to win, yeah. You have minus 80% for no boats. Yeah, but I was hoping... So, it actually doesn't seem to, like... So, multi-landing helps out a little bit. And I was thinking it was going to help out more than it actually did. But yeah, us like... I mean, we can't recruit up fast enough. But, like, we could have just not annexed Peru immediately and just, like, put it on the back burner for a while. I just got super greedy because I wanted to get them before they incorporated. Because if they incorporate, it costs more infamy. And so, just, like, uber greeded. And, like, just, yeah, a pretty substantive mistake. But, like, overall, like, we're not... This was pretty, like, haphazard, like, this entire session. Are state religions harmful for the newly conquered other culture pop? Yes, because they are automatically discriminated against, but they're probably discriminated against on the basis of the cultural stuff anyways, so like it's maybe not too big a deal. And I think we would stay on state religion for a really long time because we have a ton of non-discriminatory pops, and Confucian scholars give a really good bonus here, especially when it's doubled, minus 100% radicals from standard living decreases, which does a lot to offset, you know, the increased radicals from standard living decreases that you get from very high taxes, which we eventually would transition to. Like, if we were playing this, like, super tight, we would probably have, like, 900 construction by now, at least. Because, like, we could have a budget that looks more like this. And then we could deficit spend because we're recognized and we're a GP and, like, this type of thing. Although not super deficit spend because we don't have laissez-faire. Have you seen the AI that absolutely spams ports when they're naval blockaded by convoy raiding due to the convoy shortage? I haven't seen that, but that tracks. Just build one boat on each piece of coastline? Yep. We did that. But I'm sure you commented that before we did that. 1844 Qing with 464 construction per week. What are the current amount of construction buildings? What are the PM? Full wood or some iron? I think we're all iron. But... this is how we're doing it. Just to be clear. So, I would not, we should also probably be doing this on the lead until we can build the lead up ourselves, and we're barely missing a shortage. The thing is, and this is not the case anymore for us, and we should be forcing the iron really heavily, but when you're on picks and shovels, it just absolutely blows. Like, picks and shovels is really bad PM, and so but iron frame is considerably better. So the solution is just to import the iron, and you eat the fact that your iron will usually be around plus 75. And so this part's bad, is it's around plus 75 and it's not stimulating your economy, it's stimulating someone else's. But like, you know, it's the difference between, I think these give like I think it's 2 versus 5 construction or something like this. It makes a very substantive difference. Like, the wages are such a large portion of the construction. So this one is giving 5 construction per construction sector, and this would, if we swap back to this, is giving 2 per construction sector. So that's like a pretty big deal. One of the real reasons can't move your cap during plays, if Rev is the real reason you can't move your cap during plays, I think it is a good thing that you cannot move the war goal during a play. Usually the war goal is your capital, or your capital, it causes an enforcement, and if someone was about to, if I was Russia and I moved my capital to Perm, and someone was about to occupy Perm, and then I moved my capital to, like, Iritusk, and they spent the entire time pushing towards Perm, that would definitely be, like, super triggering. Even though you, like, would just move your capital if it was a real war. I'm trying to solve the massive equilibrium price spreadsheet, but I don't know how I will handle the buildings with multiple outputs. You would have to pick one PM and stick to it. Or actually, you would perhaps... the technical answer is you would have to find what the equilibrium level of percentages is for each PM. So for logging camps, focused hardwood is better than hardwood production. And so what you would do is you would have a certain percentage of the logging camps on focused hardwood for a perfect equilibrium, and you would have to mathematically figure out what It's going to be for what percentage of your logging camps is on focused hardwood production, which I don't know how you would actually set up that equation, to be honest. You would maybe just add a second building that was, you'd have one building focused regular softwood and another building focused hardwood production. Yeah, so this is how you would do it. You would have to do an additional building for each building that might have mixed PMs if you were trying to calculate the entire equilibrium. And keep in mind, if you calculate the entire market equilibrium, it's only going to be true if you're using all exactly those PMs. So that's like, that's a bit of a task. Try landing on a high infra state. Bro, which state is a high infra state? None of them are. So we have 10, 4, 13, 18, 11. We're landing on the highest infra state right now. And it's not been going very well. We just get enforced on here. But like, ooh, or do we? Just kidding. Do we win these? Bro, if we last minute this, actually, we might have to go for another half hour. I was pretty sad about not annexing Peru here. Just kidding. Stream goes on. This is actually gonna be super tight. On who wins this. We could just swap sides and capitulate, to be fair. But that's obviously it's not very sporting of us. Oh, it might come down to the fact that we can't refuse the peace deal here. Bro, how'd they... Oh, because we're not fully occupied yet. Bro, I hate how the enforcement system works. Ah! Yeah. I mean, we're so close. That's so stupid. In your game, UK and Germany are death warning, so I looked at Germany and they had minus 3k convoys and 3 pages of ports queued with blockaded. Yeah, it might just be too much. Well, also, like, if you calculate the equilibrium, that's for one specific market, that's only useful when you have that exact market. Like, I don't know. I mean, you could maybe calculate a bigger one, or like thematic like points, or like this type of thing. I think that I think you would want to try and set something up that can calculate the equilibriums rather than calculating it all yourself. Like, and if you can't create something that should calculate or this is my approach. I couldn't create something that would calculate the equilibriums for me, so I just approximated them, and I did it to like represent just the idea. But I think it's great meta for Qing to expand Northwest Alaska for Russia at the start. Do you agree? Yes, but not specifically. I think you do it after you do the Opium Wars, just so you don't have to worry about weird stuff. Territory getting occupied by them pushing in here, or maybe that's even good for you. I'm not sure, actually. But yeah, Tomsk is not worth as much as Alaska. Also, they won't want to take Tomsk later. So this is what he is talking about, to those of you in chat, trading that for Alaska. Definitely a good trade. Because gold. Gold, please. Can you afford to get the infamy to conquer Ecuador Treaty Port for easier access? The thing to do would have just not been to do the war, like, until we had, like... Well, we almost won it. To be fair, if we had consolidated the boats first, and just landed with this big stack to begin with, and landed in the right spot, we would have won that. But, like, we're just kind of goofing off a little bit here. Like, the main thing is that the Opium War looks pretty manageable if you just use the Portugal technique. And then you can also, like, put in on Portugal some actually pretty useful things. Because, like, this isn't that useful right now, but eventually, like, when we get to the colonizing game, having this extra frontage is going to be pretty nice. And then this is incredibly useful because this makes it so we don't have to take Gaza in order to take Transvaal. right? So we could just take Transvaal straight away. So that's actually like, and it's like it's a commensurate amount of infamy, and then also you avoid some of the late game negative effects by getting rid of the treaty port anyways, and so this is going to be good. And so yeah, unique companies messes up with equilibrium calculations. Yes, you have to. So this is like one problem with Victoria 3 in general, is often you have to evaluate stuff in like independent of each other just to understand the system. Like I'm planning on a video, or I'm working on a video where, or well, I'm planning on a video where we just take a look at what the equilibrium is before you turn on the company and after, because it's going to change it both on a throughput perspective and also on a construction speed perspective. And so it's going to change both the equilibrium price when you care about construction, and it's going to change the equilibrium price when you care about efficiency per worker because of the throughput. And so it messes up the calculation on both ends, but different degrees. Like it's going to way mess up the construction calculation, and it's not going to mess up the calculation as much on the other thing. But notably, when you get a throughput bonus, you also will need to build fewer of the buildings in order to reach a certain price. But I think we're going to wrap up the stream here, because was mainly just trying to get something out there in regards to 1.5.2 or 1.5.12 and fighting the Opium War, because I've had this conversation several times, and people have insisted it's really hard. To be fair, I mean, that seemed harder. They were pushing us way more than before, but it definitely seems manageable, especially if you like don't mind getting cheeky and separating your 15 starting navy into like 15 different stacks and like re-landing repeatedly, or like landing a bunch of other stuff, and like this is the axis through which you can actually combat them more so than, and when you're landing you just have to get in against nothing. They have to have nothing defending and no boats, but this seems effective. Also, you can just infinitely cheese. Like if you want to fight just the UK and you aren't above using certain cheese, you can just completely cheese the landing, their initial landing anyways, right? Because what you can do is you can take your fleet, that's a 30 stack, split off one unit, give one admiral, have that admiral go out and fight their navy that's trying to land. When that admiral loses, you just recruit another admiral, have him go out and fight. When he loses, recruit another admiral, go out and fight. When he loses, recruit another admiral. When he loses, split off another one. You know, and like this is incredibly tedious, but it should be incredibly consistent, as like, and then have him go out and fight. Like you should just be able to uber cheese that with 60 different guys. And so yeah, if you wanted to fight it that way. And also you can move your capital inland, and it should be harder to enforce it when your capital's gone to. If they're enforcing via capital, although often they will put in a war goal that's not the capital, just go straight for the war goal, so you can't necessarily rely on this. But it seems pretty. I think the sequencing was maybe really important, right? Because we messed up on it, or I messed up on it initially, but the sequencing is we go after Dynam, right? We get ourselves some infamy. Once we have ourselves some infamy, we declare on Portugal. UK gets locked into the play with us, and then we ban the opium. Now UK cannot declare on us, nor can they put any war goals on us. Notably, we could have just full-on capitulated Portugal and we still get out of the opium wars there, right? And then we just don't declare a single play for the rest of the 5 years, and then we decay all the way down, and then we're fine, and we lose the malice. So we have a lot of negatives. Wait, why do we have the opium ban? What? Wait. Collapsing army morale. Oh, maybe we do have some malices for 10 years. It still seems pretty manageable. I don't remember how we got this modifier. But anyways, seems pretty straightforward. For Qing, what series of final goal is the easiest? Conquering the world, economic dominance, or freedom society? The changing all the laws one is a little bit rough if you don't know how to manipulate IG leaders. because it's very difficult to get off of not state or actually, yeah, no one likes getting off of state religion. You don't have a single IG that supports the decision in terms of base values, so you have to get a nihilist or something else. It's easier now. Is the losing the Opium Wars event only trigger if the UK gets treaty put on you? It also triggers if they open your market. Either one of these is sufficient. I think if they take a single state off of you, it also triggers, but they don't usually do that war goal. But if you're playing the UK, I think you can just take Beijing and war reps, and that this is the ideal war target anyways. You should just go for Beijing and war reps. Maybe you have to open the market, but Beijing open market war reps is the war. And then in which case you have to make the other one primary. Yeah, let's get rid of this poll. Anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed. A little impromptu thing. If you did, please feel free to like, comment, subscribe. It does help out. And other than that, have a good night, good evening. Farewell.